everyone, to this edition of The Daily Hustle. This is episode 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7. I'm here with the lovely Marcia Thomas, who, better if you explain what you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tell everybody what it is, your title is, so I don't want to mess it up and say,
okay,
she does this and then I'm wrong, because that would be good.
Okay, so I am a natural therapist. I practice traditional Chinese medicine and acupressure. A lot of you may be familiar with acupuncture, which is the application of needles throughout the body. So acupressure and acupuncture are completely the same. The only difference is acupuncture uses needles, whereas acupressure is pressure applied to the same points along the body with touch, either my hands, elbows, a stone or whatnot. So these points are acupoints. Mm-hmm. That's where energy kind of clusters or is deficient along the body, along different meridians along the body. And my job is basically to either tonify those points or disperse excess energy in those points so that our energy can flow freely through our body.
Throughout your body, okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody has, let's say, a lot of energy pressure in their legs, mm-hmm. you're able to help them kind of manipulate it through other parts of the body so that it circulates. Oh, that's awesome. How did you actually get started, and what made you want to start in something that's, I want to say, would you consider it to be rare to be acupressure?
Well, I haven't heard too much about acupressurists. I mean, I have done acupuncture myself, received acupuncture myself years ago, so I'm familiar with acupuncture. But acupressure, no, that was new to me when I found the school that I studied at and the community that I'm a part of. How I got into it, I mean, I feel like a lot of us kind of get into things that we experience ourselves, whether it's like health ailments or life situations. Yeah. And so I am a person who's experienced a lot of back and neck pain, like physical ailments, issues with my skin. I had really bad, severe eczema when I was younger.
Okay.
To the point where I was taking like steroid cream, like really high strength steroid cream for my eczema.
Okay.
I used to get chronic migraines all the time, really bad allergies, just a lot of like physical, psychosocial, emotional symptoms.
Okay.
And it kind of led me to look into like natural ways of healing myself. So looking into diet, looking into different healing modalities.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough to have a friend of mine who introduced me to the school that I studied at called Setsuko.
Okay.
It's in MDG.
Okay.
And they're a natural therapy school.
Okay.
So they teach different massage techniques, as well as the traditional Chinese medicine and acupressure program that they have there. Okay. And so traditional Chinese medicine, that's kind of the umbrella term.
Yeah.
And it encompasses acupuncture, acupressure, qigong, tai chi, dietetics, 5 elements model. So everything is under the traditional Chinese medicine. Okay. The theory or the basis of traditional Chinese medicine is the whole concept of yin and yang. Okay. So the idea of balance. So everything is that constant strive and desire for balance. Yeah. Whether we have it in nature or within our body, it's that constant equilibrium that we're always looking for.
How many people do you meet lack balance? Because as a trainer, a lot of people are unbalanced when it comes to like stuff like their posture, their positioning, even just in the way they think. Obviously, it's something that you probably have to help people transition out of. How many people do you meet on a regular basis that need to have that taken care of?
It's a breath of fresh air when I meet someone who is balanced and centered and grounded. I feel that and I'm like, oh, okay. A lot of acupressure is energy work. So I'm there in the room with you, touching, feeling into the energy in your body. And if I'm not balanced and centered and grounded myself when I go into the session, it's not going to be a beneficial session for either one of us. And so most people in the society, we're unbalanced. We're constantly on the go.
Right.
We're in traffic for hours upon hours a day.
Right.
We are eating on the go, picking up fast food here and there. We have work stress and family stress, and we're constantly just busy. That's not a balanced lifestyle. We're all trying to do the best we can, really. Sure. It's hard to maintain and to achieve that balance and maintain it. And so even if you can get it in like one aspect of your life, usually it starts there and will trickle through.
So when you have consultations with clients and you discuss their needs and your concerns for them, what kind of questions do you end up asking to find out, okay, where do I start from with this person?
Well, first I'll ask them what their reason for coming to see me is.
Okay.
Some will say, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, pretty healthy. I just want, just a little bit of like a tune-up kind of thing. Just this is my self-care time. And I'm like, okay, this will be your self-care time. Different issues or plethora of issues, like health issues.
Right.
So I have a lot of dietary needs, colitis, diabetes, a lot of things like that, digestive issues. I will have physical ailments like back pain, migraines, shoulder pains, knee pains, different things like that. Menstrual issues is a really big one.
Okay. Ladies?
Yeah, it's a really big one, like endometriosis and all that kind of stuff, fertility issues. I had a couple clients that I've like supported through that, and myself actually.
Okay.
And myself.
Oh.
Side note.
First time knowing on here. Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Getting some things in here. Look at this.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch it. She had it. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You must be
Thank
excited
you.
about that.
I'm so excited. It's definitely a blessing.
It's good when you know actually how to I guess you could say, apply therapy to yourself.
Absolutely.
Because then I got this pain, I just gotta touch my shit here.
Yeah, it's great.
My mom used to say to me, you got a headache, you gotta rub your big toe. And I was like, what? And I actually did it.
I
and I was like, whoa,
she's kind of right.
Yeah,
she's kind of right, yeah.
I used to do put my hands behind my head, whatever, and put the cold air. But she'd say, rub your big toe. And I was like, oh, my big toe, what the heck? Thinking like that West Indian.
Point. You know what?
West Indian thing, and then it actually works.
And that's one thing that a lot of people will ask me, like, why traditional Chinese medicine, and I struggled with that too. As a young English Black female studying Chinese medicine, I was like, okay, like who am I trying to fool with this? But
that's okay.
But the more I studied it, the more I practiced it, the more I talked to my mom and just like remembered things that I learned growing up.
Yeah.
The more I realized it's not just Chinese medicine that I'm learning, it's a traditional medicine, period, that I'm learning.
Okay. It's just they have different names for it, like.
And a lot of things like, like the covering your neck when you go outside, there's literal channels in the back of your neck, points of the back of your neck where winds and cold will go into and make you sick.
Guys, wear a scarf.
Please wear a scarf.
Zip your
cover your neck, protect your neck.
Cover your neck up, protect your neck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With food, with different lifestyle habits. I mean, we've lost a lot of it on the way with the establishment of our Western culture, but I feel like a lot of it is trying to like poke through, and I'm so glad and welcoming to that. It's very refreshing. Not everything you have to go to the pharmacy and get a pill for.
For sure.
And I originally didn't have intentions of starting a practice. Mm-hmm. When I was studying, I always said, if all I do with this is to help myself and my family and friends, then that's more than enough.
Can you relay an experience that you've had with a client or any other clients that you took a person who might have been like, I don't want to say rock bottom, but pretty low, and you brought them like just back to equilibrium or back above that level? What was it like for you to see a person transition from like there to?
Oh, it's so humbling.
Yeah.
It's so humbling and grounding because I'm just a vessel, right? The client is doing all the work, and it's so beautiful to see them in their process, in their evolution, to come in and see that I want to make this change. I need to make this change. They may not even know exactly what the change is. They just know that something is off. And it's so beautiful when they are open and willing and able to just let the healing come through them. And then seeing them weekly and seeing their growth weekly and just being that vessel for change and just holding that space for them. It's really wonderful, actually. Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. I was gonna ask you to prepare some food, but then I thought to myself, you know what? We're in this office right now. A lot of noise going on back there. I'm trying to get these guys to quiet down, but I don't want to interrupt the video right now. As far as where you are now and what you've been developing, how would you like to take this to the next level?
I guess getting the word out there a little bit more. That's why doing this with you is just so wonderful, and just sitting down and talking and having people hear about what I do. I feel like it's one thing to see written down on a piece of paper a list of, ailments or symptoms that I can treat, but it's another to actually have that conversation with people. And so a colleague of mine that you know as well, Miss Aisha Benta.
Hue Foods, okay.
Food.
Shout out to Aisha. All right. Did she tell you we used to be models?
Yes, which is so
Okay, quick story.
awesome.
So, I know she's gonna watch this after.
Yeah.
I met her when she was at MT. I was in Toronto, Pearson, and we were part of this modeling program with this. I can't remember the lady's name. I think her name was Jennifer. Tall, light-skinned sister used to be a model, and we were models for real.
That's
and
so
I was like,
cool.
okay. And then I see her doing her thing, and then we kept in touch, whatever. And then I ended up meeting you because she came down one time for something.
I think for French Fest. Was it French
Something like
Fest?
that. And we
Something
went
like
to
that,
a
yeah.
restaurant.
Yes.
And it was on top, I think it was called Weinstein. It was Weinstein's, that's what it was. Weinstein's, downtown Montreal. And I was like, oh yeah, my wife was like, oh, I really like these girls, whatever. And I was like, and then it just kind of like, you disconnect for a bit and then you reconnect, something like this, kind of cool. And then when I came to your place, and we did the whole, the food thing that time, the Rooted event.
Yeah, Rooted. Yeah, we're actually, so we did this event called Rooted where we talked about rooting and grounding and getting back in touch with food, really, especially foods for the season. So we did that one in the fall. We're actually going to do another one next month in Toronto for winter foods.
Okay.
And so my goal with that one is to talk about, the flavors and the seasonings and the root vegetables and root foods that really connect you and ground you with winter. You know, I feel like a lot of us will just eat what we want to eat when we want to eat it, which isn't horrible, but at the same time, like, we could do so much better.
For sure.
And eating for the season and for the energy of the season is so important with that balance that I was talking about. To have your body be in line and in tune with your environment around you. I think that is so important, and I feel that. Yes, I'll have a craving for something cold like a popsicle, but I'm like, no. I'm not going to do things in my body right now. We're not going to do that.
Sorry, Mr. Freezy. Not happening.
No
not
freezies,
happening.
no.
2019 coming up very soon. We're already in December. A couple days away from 2019. Obviously, you have goals in mind of things you want to do. What are some things you're going to be putting forward? Are you planning on writing a book? I mean, obviously you have a baby.
This is going to be a large part of it. I mean,
Well, it must because...
But not only, like, the beauty and, majestic of being a mother, but just being in the unique position I am as a healer and as a practitioner to not only study what I study, but like to live through what I'm studying.
Right.
And so I receive acupressure on a regular basis. I couldn't not receive it on a regular basis and preach the way I do. I was able to put my body in a position to be able to carry a child because this isn't my first rodeo, as it isn't for a lot of women who have their first child, you know? Once I got pregnant, to continue with the acupressure sessions to strengthen my body, to make sure that I'm having the right foods and supporting myself with the right tonics and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm living through what I was studying, and I feel like that is so important for me as a practitioner to be able to speak from that place.
Right.
In terms of like symptoms, like morning sickness, don't know what that feels like because I didn't have it.
Okay.
You know, yes, I've had the fatigue and stuff like that. I mean, I'm creating a being.
For sure.
But I didn't have a lot of symptoms that I thought I would have that my sister had, my mom experienced, you know? I've had a pretty, praise the Lord, like a very smooth pregnancy so far. Okay. And so I feel like documenting that process and really experiencing it and going through and using the tools that I've learned throughout my studies on myself is going to be like really important to me because I know it and I can speak from that point, you know?
So you're looking forward to all those hours of labor?
Sure
about that?
I don't know how much I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm going to be singing a different tune in a couple months, but
So interesting thing. I have 2 clients that are pregnant. What suggestions could you offer to them as they progress through their process of having kids? It's their first child, obviously.
Right, yeah, no, listening, I mean, I'm sure people will say this, but you you can't hear it enough. Just listening to your body, listening to what baby is telling you. I mean, I'm typically an Energized bunny. Go, 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 trying to do things all the time, like have my list to do things. And you know, baby came and was just like, no, you're gonna do one thing today, and that's about it.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay,
so
I'm going to do one thing.
Ladies, you gotta know when to stop.
No one's just sit down and
I've been
relax.
telling you all that. You guys don't listen, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Marcy's here to tell you because she's experienced it herself. Or baby says, hey, mom,
so
I'm chilling. I'm chilling today. You want to do 6 things, we're doing 1. Call it a day, that's it.
I had my to-do list, last Friday? There were about 6 things on it, and I went out, did 1 errand, I was like, yeah, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
And you know what, like, I'm fortunate enough to be off work, so I can just take my time and do one thing at a time and just enjoy, like, the magic that is my body right now, you know? Just take your time and rest and connect with your body and connect with yourself and try to be as stress-free as possible, you know? Keep only positivity around you. Don't stress about anything, because a lot of that, baby feels everything.
Okay.
Baby feels everything that you feel and that you're experiencing, and I mean, you're already a mom, right? So
right.
You gotta think for 2 right now at this point.
Do you believe in eating for 2?
So
because listen, so I've heard all these things about, you see these. Not everyone. People are more conscious now, I feel like.
People are.
But is that something that you're like, yeah, you gotta eat a little bit more?
So, a little bit. I mean, your body is, you're producing so much blood right now, and you need so much fluids in your body right now, you know, like, you need so much more energy, so much more fuel for your body to get through the day. So in that sense, yes. But there is a limit to it.
Okay.
And only you're gonna know that. Like, no book is gonna be able to tell you and whatnot. Like, you're gonna know and you're gonna feel it. Mind you, my sister and my friends, you know, when I was asking them questions about their pregnancy, all of them were like, you know what, eat whatever you want, whenever you want, because there will come a point where you don't want anything. So get that fuel, get that nutrients in when you can.
Like some sound advice.
That one I'm good with.
But don't use that as an excuse.
No.
People to just start eating like crazy and then say, "Cream, what am I gonna do?" I don't want to hear it. Okay, take your time with that for sure. So if people want to find out more about what you do, or they want to be able to connect with you, where can they find you? Where are you located? Do you have an office?
I do.
Here.
Yeah, I have an office. It's located on Monkland.
Okay.
Monkland Avenue in NDG. That's where my office is. You can give me a call. I can leave you with my contact information, write me an email, marzen.tcm@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you can find me on Instagram at marzen.tcm.
So here's the cool thing. So whenever we have a tag,
right,
I'm able to go like this.
It's gonna pop up there.
So marzen.tcm.
Right.
At Instagram. At sign marzen.tcm. Watch this. Come on the screen right there. Nice little explosion happening. Perfect. That's what's going on right now. I really appreciate you coming and letting me know more about what it is you do. I was actually gonna figure out. You had a massage tape here. I was like, maybe you should give me some acupressure treatment. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. I am not in a position to be anywhere like that because obviously you carry a child. I don't want to.
I still see clients.
Which I think is good. But remember, if your baby says one thing, maybe this is the one thing that you can do right now.
I'll do the interview today, and then that's it.
That's okay. Other question I had for you. Actually, one more thing I wanted to ask before it is we wrapped up. If you had one positive message to leave with everybody as your impact stamp, what would it be? One sentence though. God, I could
deep breath.
Because there's only so much I can put on the screen.
Right.
By the way. Let it be something that's gonna be leave an impact, leave a mark, so people go, yo man, Marcia let me that message.
Oh wow, I gotta go deep and philosophical now. Okay. Let me try this one.
Okay, maybe I can put it into 2 parts.
Trust the process, and I'm sure people hear that all the time, but honestly, it can't be screamed louder and more frequently than it is. Just trust the process, you know. And we're all a part of something that's so much larger and so much grander than we are, and we're all connected to it some way, somehow. So just stepping back and just, you know, trusting that what we're in is what we need to be in at this moment in time, and that we will get through it, you know?
Be in balance, and as she mentioned, trust the process. One more time. Marcia, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I think people are well informed. I'm a little bit more informed about what you do. I apologize for the noise in the background. Guys, I'm trying to take that noise out of the background, all those people screaming in the back. It's not our fan club, it's just another group that was here. But definitely, we know where your offices are, all the contact information. I'm gonna have it on the next screen so you guys know where you can reach her by email, by Instagram, and hit her up if you have any questions. When's gonna be your next workshop here in Montreal?
So we're doing the winter one in Toronto. We'll probably do the spring workshop here in Montreal.
Okay.
So I'm thinking April.
Okay.
April.
And your baby's due?
May.
In May,
Yeah.
okay. So right before her baby pops, boom.
Yeah.
Wow, if your baby's due in May, that's 1, 2,
That's soon.
3. Yo, y'all need to calm down. I need 3 people I know having kids in May.
Really? Oh, okay. Spring babies.
Y'all need to calm down. Meanwhile, I'm just here trying to practice. Meanwhile, we're like, kids. Nah, I'll be an uncle.
Uncle comes over.
You need me to babysit? I'm good.
Okay, no problem.
Everyone tells me, oh, Creamy, be a good father. Man, nah, you know what, right now.
Yeah, why not? Try it out.
It's not like tasting a dip.
You know, try it out. Can't give it back though.
Exactly. Oh, does this go away? No.
No, it's yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Marcia, for coming through. Guys, Daily Hustle episode 7. Please check it out and please subscribe to the channel. More information is coming. Again, if you want to hit up Marcia, you know where to find her. Peace!